Hello, my friends. In this video, I'm going to talk about the activity life cycle. Android activity life cycle is controlled by 7 methods of android.app.activity class. The Android activity is the subclass of context theme wrapper class, which in turn inherits from the context wrapper that inherits from the context, and the context is an object.
So you want to be a professional Android app developer, but you don't know where you should start, what things you should learn. You came to the right place. Welcome to our top bestseller Android app development course, a comprehensive program designed to equip you with the skills and knowledge required to excel in the exciting field of Android app development.
So, an activity is a single screen in Android. It's like window or frame in Java. By the help of activity, you can place all your UI components or widgets in a single screen. The 7 lifecycle methods of activity describes how activity will behave in different states. So, let's see the 7 lifecycle methods of the Android activity. These are the 7 methods: the onCreate, onStart, onResume, onPause, onStop, onDestroy, and onRestart. onCreate. onCreate method is called when the activity is first created and the ideal location for most initialization tasks to be performed. And we've seen this method and we worked with it in many of our projects and in the previous videos. This method is passed an argument in the form of a bundle object that may contain dynamic state information, typically relating to the state of the user interface from a prior invocation of the activity. Don't worry if you have some confusion and some concepts you didn't understand it. We will clarify everything in the next videos and later on in the projects. So I want from you to understand the hierarchy, the order of these methods, how they work, and why we use them. So onCreate method, we use it when the activity is first created, and we initialize the widgets, the connections, and others inside it. Okay? The onRestart method. OnRestart method called when the activity is about to restart after having previously been stopped by the runtime system. The onStart method always called immediately after the call or to the onCreate method or onRestart methods. This method indicates to the activity that it's about to become visible to the user. I want from you to pause the video and copy this hierarchy, these 7 methods, to your copybook in order to understand the hierarchy and the order of these methods and why we use them, because they are very important. In order also to understand the next app that we're going to build, that will clarify everything. But please, guys, I want from you to write these notes down. This method, the onStart method, will be followed by a call to onResume method if the activity moves to the top of the activity stack, or onStop method in the event that it's pushed down the stack by another activity. You can see I can start onStart method by calling the onStop method here. From the onStop method, on restart, and then on restart will call on start. And then on start will continue with the on resume, and the resume activity will be displaying the activity again and again. The on resume indicates that the activity is now at the top of the activity stack and is the activity with which the user is currently interacting. So when you see a screen in front of you, this is the activity that you are seeing is called by or initialized or created or invoked by the onResume method. So the activity running in the foreground, this is the responsibility of the onResume method. The onPause method indicates that a previous activity is about to become the foreground activity. This call will be followed by a call to either the onResume method or onStop method, depending on whether the activity moves back to the foreground or becomes invisible to the user. Steps may be taken within this method to store persistent state information not yet saved by the app. To avoid delays in switching between activities, time-consuming operations such as storing data to a database or performing network operations should be avoided within this method. This method should also ensure that any CPU-intensive tasks such as animation are stopped. Later on, we will see how we can deal with the onPause method with when we deal with databases and the animations. The onStop method. The activity is now no longer visible to the user. The two possible scenarios that may follow this call are a call to an onRestart method in the event that the activity moves to the foreground again, or onDestroy method if the activity is being terminated. So we have two possibilities. In the onStop, if we are on the onStop, the activity is either restarted, so the users choose it again to onStart and then put onResume to display it again, or onStop, the user select that we need to destroy this app to destroy the activity so it will no longer be displayed to the user. So we have two ways, even terminated or either terminated or restarted and resume to display it again to the user. The onDestroy method. The activity is about to be destroyed, either voluntarily because the activity has completed its tasks and has called the finish method, or because the runtime is terminating it either to release the memory or due a configuration change such as orientation of the device changing. So this is the onDestroy. We have two possibilities in calling this onDestroy, either by the system is terminating the app or the finish method is called. It's important to note that a call will not always be made on the onDestroy method when activity is terminated. So these are the 7 methods of the life cycle of the activity. Later on in the next videos, we will create an app that illustrates these methods more and more with deep information. And later we will talk about the dynamic state and how to pass data between the activities and how to store data. So just a little bit information or a little note. In addition to the lifecycle methods outlined above, there are two methods intended specifically for saving and restoring the dynamic state of an activity. The onRestore instance state method took into the parameter a bundle object. This method is called immediately after a call to the onStart method in the event that the activity is restarting from a previous invocation in which state was saved. As with onCreate method, this method is passed a bundle object containing the previous state data. So think about and please pay attention for this method. Later on, we will use it when we call the bundle. This method is typically used in situations where it makes more sense to restore a previous state after the initialization of the object of the activity has been performed in the onCreate and onRestart method. Okay? The other method is the onSave instance state. Also took into parameter a bundle object called before an activity is destroyed so that the current dynamic state can be saved. The method is passed the bundle object into which the state should be saved. We are saving onSave instant state, and which subsequently passed through to the onCreate method and the onRestore instance state methods when the activity is restarted. Note that this method is only called in situations where the runtime ascertains that dynamic state needs to be saved. Don't worry if you get confused, I know, but please write these down. These notes are very important, and we can see them later on when we talk about the activity lifecycle application in the next videos. And we can see how the activity works and behaves in every step, in every method, and the order of execution of these methods. So I want from you to write these down and write the order and see this coloration, this relationship between onCreate, call onStart, call onResume, display an activity for the user. If the user exits the app, it will call the onPause. Either we can go back to onResume and display it again, or we can stop the app. When the user stops the app, either we can restart it and onRestart and again onResume, or we can call the onDestroy. This is a quick recap, a quick summary of what we have learned about the activity callbacks and the activity methods. I'll show you this in a very detailed